I built it using Express. For the ORM, I've just used type ORM since it's familiar to me. And for the backend, I've used Postgres as detailed in the challenge. So for the application, I've segregated it into three parts. In the source directory, we have the database where I'm just setting up the entities, migrations, and also the CEDA files using the ORM config file. Then we have the middlewares where I'm doing mostly the authentication and validation. And in the modules section, I have the routes dealing with authentication. So here we have the actual routes. And then for the controller, we have the logic, the business logic that runs this. I also have the transaction module that basically deals with making transactions and also fetching them. So I've got an extra endpoint called the user endpoint, which basically just fetches users. So for this, I decided to add this so that I can be able to fetch users to enable like a drop down when the user is sending a transaction so that they can choose whoever they want to send the transaction to. So I'll just show a quick run through via the API structure. So this is what I have for the registration. We have what is expected, the response list. So I've done more detail in the documentation on the docs.md file on my GitHub repo. So we have the get transactions. So this is what it looks like when I query for the transactions. This is the shape of them. Then we have the login. The login basically returns the user and the token. And we have this send transaction route, which basically makes the transaction that was detailed in the challenge. So for the extra endpoint I added, here it is. It basically does a fetch, basically a get, and we fetch all these details of the users from the DB. So this list is to be used in the dropdown, as I will detail later. So I'll just do a quick run and try to demo how the app works. Maybe before that, I should just go to the front end. So for the front end, I've used Expo. So what I did is I used an Expo template, then I ejected all the files. So it came with a little bit of setup, but I removed the boilerplate code. So for the app navigation, I'm using Stack. As you can see, we have the login and sign up screens. Then I have the dashboard, and I also have the transactions screen. So yeah, so the index basically redirects to the login page, and then after authentication, we can navigate to the other screens. So I'll just run the app quick. Let me change this into a fresh database. So I had created a specific database for this, and I'll just run this quick. Let me first run the application and unsolve. Then I'll run the migrations. Sorry, I have to do this. Migrations. And I have a command to seed the database. So I'll just run that as well. Seed. So there it goes. So the purpose of this is basically to seed the database with two users, which are going to be used, which is where the current registered user will send the transaction to. So let me just run the mobile real quick. And then I want the mobile option. So this just brings, just runs the app in the browser. So this is much easier to use. So I'll just run quick through the registration. So just register daniel@gmail.com, put a password. So I'll put a password, then I'll choose the PSP. Maybe I'll just choose the dev because I'm a dev. Then I'll sign up. So the sign up is successful. So I'll navigate. I've noticed there's a few. Maybe I need to clear the forms once sign up is successful. So Daniel at Gmail. I'll just do a quick login. .com. 254. And I'll just log in. So yeah, so I just log in. So this is there you go with the toast, and I also had seeded the database with some fake transactions. So you'll see the logic when the user registers. It just auto creates some transaction for display. I didn't want this to be empty. Um, so I'll just go to the sending form. So I'll just put 999 as 9. Let's put some more nines. I'll use USD as a currency. Then remember the new users we seeded. Here is where they are displayed. So I can just choose one. So the assumption for this was it doesn't make sense to, so this transaction has been successful. Um, yeah, another thing I should add is basically just to clear the forms and maybe navigate to the dashboard once a transaction is successful. Oh, I also have an undefined error. So yeah, so here is a new transaction. Yeah, so basically that's how the app works. I need to fix, once I'm done with this, I need to fix that undefined error on the toaster. But basically, this is what my app does. Yeah. So if I were to improve the app, I'll just be clearing the files and also doing like a redirect once the process has been successful. But yeah, this is what I have so far. So thank you.